Hello, everyone. Here's our presentation on Nashville Vision Zero. We have 5 team members consisting of Marion, Autumn, Robert, Nicole, and myself, Reese. Nashville Vision Zero is a strategy and aiming to eliminate all vehicle accidents. And it is estimated in 2020 that 39 pedestrians were killed and 248 others were injured. Some potential factors that can contribute to this is the number of lanes in a roadway and demographic factors like income. The ultimate goal of this is to propose a potential solution in hopes to eliminate all pedestrian hit and run accidents, or at the least reduce the number of average per year. Some solutions that we've been looking at is LiDAR, crosswalk and crosswalk lighting. Some other ones are additional crosswalks and public education. I'll turn it over to Robert with our proposed solution description.
All right, so for our proposed solution description, we looked at a specific intersection within the city of Nashville just as an example, but the solutions that we provide here can be implemented at any intersection within Nashville. But this one is specifically at Murfreesboro Pike and Millwood Drive. So the transformative technology that we looked at implementing was LiDAR. And LiDAR stands for light detection and ranging. And it's basically a way to capture images and real-time data at intersections. And that's what it can be used for our purposes. So here's some benefits of LiDAR. It's reliable. Again, like I said, it's able to capture images and data really quickly. It's also resistant to weather. So it's good day or night, rain or shine. Weather doesn't impact it from doing its job, and it's still able to capture data effectively and efficiently. And again, it has advanced 3D imaging that helps with providing information at a specific intersection. It can help detect vehicles and pedestrians at those intersections. So within the city of Nashville, LiDAR could be helpful for our purposes at being implemented at those specific intersections where we have issues with accidents involving pedestrians. So our proposal will be implementing these sensors within the existing ITS infrastructure within Nashville. And it would be especially helpful being able to detect hit and runs at those intersections to try and allow the city to use this data and information to make more informed decisions. So currently, as I've mentioned, LiDAR is really well at kind of getting you a snapshot of the intersection and providing real-time data really quickly. But I think in the future, I think LiDAR would be even more efficient if it were connected, if it were implemented in a connected vehicle environment where it's actually able to maybe more directly communicate with the vehicles at the intersection and maybe helping them stop if a pedestrian is detected by those sensors. But as of now, it's good. And is efficient at providing real-time data to be able to then make decisions later on. So with that, I'll now pass it over to Autumn to talk more about crosswalks.
So another improvement we are proposing is more available crosswalks in general. However, mid-block crosswalks would be especially effective for pedestrian safety. A mid-block crosswalk is a crosswalk that has a pedestrian refuge island in the middle of it. Not only is the island a safe spot for pedestrians to rest if needed, it also divides the crosswalk into 2 separate crossing stages where a pedestrian only needs to look in one direction at a time in order to cross the road safely. Mid-block crosswalks bring many advantages for both pedestrians and drivers, but can pose issues when implemented ineffectively. Some pros are greater visibility for both pedestrians and drivers. They provide staged crossing for pedestrians, as I explained previously. These also improve accessibility for pedestrians who may not be able to fully cross the road in a safe amount of time. Some cons are that drainage needs to be considered before implementation. Noise and light pollution may also be increased. Finally, these are not as effective in slowing traffic compared to speed bumps or stoplights. As an example of a mid-block crosswalk, I have designed what one may look like if implemented in Nashville. I chose an area near the Plus Park Station inbound and outbound bus stops. There are a few reasons why I chose this area. These bus stops are on Murfreesboro Pike, which is listed as a high injury road in Vision Zero. This specific area is also considered highly vulnerable. There is a mixture of residential, commercial, hotels, and restaurants in this area. If implemented, this crosswalk would be closer to the bus stops than other existing options. This is valuable in terms of convenience. Finally, there is already an existing median that could be modified to include the pedestrian refuge island. I have a picture of what this area currently looks like versus what it could possibly look like. Signage, lighting, and other landscaping could be incorporated into this design as well. Keep in mind that while I have only designed this specific area in this presentation, this idea could also be incorporated into other highly vulnerable areas in Nashville. And with that, I will turn it over to Nicole to discuss lighting.
So lighting plays a key role in providing safety to pedestrians. In 2020, most of Nashville's pedestrian fatalities occurred at night between the hours of 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. Many of those fatalities also occur during months in which the days are shorter, such as December or January. They also tend to occur in low-income neighborhoods or neighborhoods that are majority people of color. These neighborhoods are often neglected when it comes to providing maintenance to existing infrastructure or providing them with other essential infrastructure like lighting. Lighting is important for those who have to walk at night so that drivers will be able to see them crossing the road and know that they are there. Given that the neighborhoods affected by pedestrian fatalities are usually low income, not a lot of its residents will have access to a car or to other forms of transportation. In-road crosswalk lights are a series of amber lights embedded into the roadway on each side of the crosswalk. They face oncoming traffic, so they will be located within the direct eyesight of a driver so that they have less of a chance to miss it or ignore the presence of the crosswalk. They can provide some illumination of the pedestrian to the driver, but because of the amber color of the lights and how the lights are facing oncoming traffic, not a whole lot of lighting for pedestrian visibility is provided with just these lights. Flashing signage is another way to try and grab the attention of drivers. Sometimes signage can slip past the driver's attention, even though it is perfectly visible to them. To avoid instances like that, flashers or LED lit signs can be used to emphasize the importance and the purpose of the sign. Flashers can be incorporated into rapid flashing beacons located below the pedestrian crossing sign, or it can be incorporated into the sign itself as a border. Lights will begin to flash when activated by the pedestrian when they push the button before crossing. The lights will then put an emphasis for drivers to acknowledge the crosswalk and the pedestrian, urging them to slow down and stop as needed. With all signage, if used improperly or when unwarranted, signs can lose their effectiveness in getting drivers to pay attention and acknowledge what the sign is communicating to them. That is why the flashers are only activated when a pedestrian activates them by pushing the button to communicate to the system that they intend to cross the street. The hub crosswalk system is bigger in scale compared to the in-road crosswalk lights or the flashing signage. It resembles a traffic signal, but it works differently. The multiple stages gives drivers enough time to come to a complete stop, which is very important since the beacons don't display any lights beforehand, unlike a typical traffic signal where the lights are constantly cycling through. The solid red light gives pedestrians enough time to cross the crosswalk without taking up too much time for the flow of traffic to build up and throw off the timing of signalized intersections nearby. The flashing red light still gives the chance for the pedestrian to continue crossing the street safely if they need that extra time. And since cars will already be at a complete stop, they will know if a pedestrian is about to cross the street or if there are more pedestrians approaching the crosswalk. But if that's not the case, and if the crosswalk is actually clear, traffic can move along while still maintaining a precautionary measure of coming to a complete stop first. And now I'll turn it over to Marion, who will discuss driver awareness and public education.
In addressing driver awareness, a distracted driver is likely to disregard an underemphasized crossing area. Warning signs for pedestrian presence and reduced traffic speed should be increased to provide extensive and thorough notification to drivers. For the driver's education portion, requiring licensed drivers to obtain a renewable driver's education certificate will increase overall driver competency. Drivers who haven't completed driver's education are 75% more likely to get a traffic ticket, 24% more likely to be involved in a fatal or injured accident, and 16% more likely to have an accident. For the substance abuse education portion, pedestrian hit and runs are more likely to occur both during hours of common alcohol consumption and in communities with prevalent substance abuse crises. Therefore, educating the public and providing readily available and free substance abuse care will contribute to lowering pedestrian hit and runs in these areas. In conclusion, the combination of emerging transportation technology like LiDAR in crosswalk lighting and Hawk crosswalks with public education efforts will satisfy Nashville Vision Zero by decreasing the frequency of pedestrian hit and runs. The integration and implementation of our proposed solution will create a safer city of Nashville and will positively impact drivers and pedestrians alike. Thank you.